This is the story of a young talented artist, a teacher, and an entrepreneur who recently rebranded his business with his creative work. Zina creates amazing artwork, mostly painting, commission portrait, and is currently working on moving to a more permanent workshop to better showcase his designs to the public. Welcome to Entrepreneur.
I started drawing ever since I was as young as 7 years old, and now I've developed myself so much to the extent of painting. Art has always been something that I love and part of me, so I think this was something that I had to develop on my own, and I tried as much as possible to do something like this. Although we don't have a learning center here for that, but one take opportunity of the tools on YouTube and other channels to learn from them. So this is how I got to this point in time of able to paint and things like that. So I'm not master as many may see it, but I'm just trying my best to be where I want to be as an artist. This is something that it's a talent. It's something I was born with, and so I had to develop it, and it's something that gives me so much joy. I learn other form of works to do, but this gives me so much pleasure and it brings so much delight to me. So this is why I choose to follow it, develop myself on it, and able to use it to support myself. I'm from Liberia, so I came to the Gambia with my parents because of the war that was happening in Liberia. So they fled to the Gambia here as a safe haven, and that is how I grew up here. And you can even see that the accent now somehow changed. I'm actually from Liberia, but I've always been in the Gambia here, grew up in the Gambia. Yes, I work with schools, in taking like part-time jobs and working with their students and training them about the art. Individually, I work on my own. I work for people like based on commissions. I'm currently working with schools such as Halimba Academy and Ida's Idea. So I train the students on art to do fashion illustrations. If you look at architectural draftsmanship, yes, that was something I studied when I completed high school because it was the closest to art in the Gambia here. And art was something that I don't have the opportunity to study, but I didn't just want to sit after high school, so I went into studying something related to it, and that was how I studied architectural draftsmanship. But if you look at it also in terms of perspective and designs and beautification, it's all related to art. And even when people build their houses, you can see that they want to put something there to beautify it, and that is how art plays with architecture. Yeah, so it's so much related. This is a painting of a typical kora player. So locally they will call him a jali. You see, mostly what I try to do in my painting is to promote the African culture, because I so much love the African culture, and I want to show the rest of the world how beautiful our culture is. So this is a typical kora player. It's called the jali in Manika. And so he's playing this kora, and you can see all these African patterns on it. So this is the inspiration I got some time ago, because I have this feeling of I am an ambassador of African society. So I want to really promote the culture as an artist through my artworks. This is also another painting of the kora player. And you can see that I was trying to depict how beautiful the African culture with this colorful background. So to relate to it, and this guy is so typical because most of the time, they sit on the ground. That shows how humble they are when they're doing this thing, and they derive so much joy from it. They're not sitting on a high table or whatsoever, but they humble themselves, come down and play this thing. That is it. Okay. Yeah. And this one here, it's sailing home. So you can see this man in a typical African society, men are very protective of their women. So no matter what, they always try to support the women, and he is taking the lead driving his wife all the way home. So the beautiful blue background here, just trying to depict how lovely these things become like that. Yeah. And these are the models. Like I told you earlier on, I work in a fashion institution where I work with students, teaching them about fashion illustrations. Yeah. So like this, just trying to depict that the African women, long before even started fashion, before actually the fashion comes, from the way they walk, the way they dress and things like that. We have already started this thing long time ago. So the process of it being going on as a trend, it just is something not so new to us, but it's coming to light. Like this is the African culture, their attire and everything. Yeah. So if you look at this deeply, you can see some of the African patterns that I was trying to put at the background, and that is how to make them like a relief, so that they can come out and be well elaborated upon. That these African patterns on African painting is just like something that interacts. Okay. Yeah. And this is a calabash painting that I did. The calabash also, it's one of the things that they almost use the same type of item to make like the kora. So they are all related. And this calabash also is a typical African item or material that people use to put water, milk, and many other things. They use it as a jar. And it's our culture. It's beautiful. And we're proud of it. Yeah. So, and here you have the drummer boy. Yeah. So many people today they wish for their children to become something great in the future, but like the school I'm teaching at Halimba Academy, the school is about art and sciences. So what they're trying to achieve is for children to be able to learn the art and the sciences together. It's also part of the educational system. And you can see that they inculcate other form of art like the local instrument where kids can learn about their culture. So this a drummer boy is trying to tell that this boy, he has a passion for what he's doing, but society has made it such a way that you can see the expression of his face that he's not happy, yes, but he actually wants to do this, but society has made it so much that the African culture is something like outdated. So because of that, his reaction is not telling well, but you can see like the portrait, he's trying to do it with so much passion, and you can have. So I put all this African design here to give it a taste of that African and that was all about the painting. So we're talking about a calabash, and you have something like this. These are the pots. These are made from like the local African people. They didn't learn all these things in school, but they knew about colors, they knew about beautification, and they did this thing like with their own talent, and that is so much amazing. Without modern technology, they did all this pot. They made it with their own hands, and that was something really, really amazing. And that is why I wanted to inculcate it in my painting, to show to people that when it comes to technology, we may not be there, but even before technology, we have been doing something that feels amazing. Yeah,
that's true.
This is also another sailing home. This is mostly one of the means of transportation to African people, using the sea. I would just call them like the seamen. African, we have a lot of rivers, a lot of seas and things like that. So we make use of them, we can have our house near it and stuff like that. Bringing in some natural things like the seashells, I put it here so that I can, relate these things to my artworks and stuff. And this you have the drum, standing drums. They call it the tama in Wolof, yes. So people play these things like during events like the Zimba, like the Zimba shows, and other cultural activities, they play. So I wanted to bring this out really in our painting, in my painting, yeah. So this here is a kora, and you can see the background is depicting like abroad, Europe. It's only in Europe you can see this type of paint, this type of buildings. Yeah, but in some other African countries you have it, but it's mostly related to European. Yeah. So what this is trying to tell you that we want to take our culture, our African culture, to the outside world. And this African culture is not like just staying here, it's also developing the outside world. And that is why you can see the Kora is in front, and this Europe is at the back. So it's trying to tell that our culture is really powerful. And that is why you see people from other parts of the world come to Africa and try to see these things. So we as Africans should know that, you know, these things, we can really, really value them, because if people from somewhere see these things and love them, then what about us? We should really, really take care of these things because it's very valuable.
Zina is incredibly talented and has achieved so much at such a young age. We will be going on a short break, and when we come back, Zina will share his dreams and other achievements. Stay tuned.
Sponsor a Gambian girl through SAG Foundation. We are placing girls on the path to success through education. Our aim is to realize a Gambia where every girl is given equal access to education to reach their full potential. This is how we do it through our model of affecting generational systematic change. This is Amy. She is not in school, an underprivileged girl excluded from school due to lack of financial support. The SAG Foundation enrolled her into school, and she is equipped with all the essential resources to have a quality education. Amy is now making a difference in her community. Amy is now contributing towards the generational systematic change. Education changes everything for a girl.
Can you tell us about your recent exhibition?
Yeah, the recent exhibition, you know, I was just trying to show you some of the works here that I did, and you know, it's about culture. That was the theme of the exhibition. I was trying to promote the African culture through my artworks. Yeah, so it happened at Fajara Yosh restaurant. That was a lady that offered me her space because she saw my works online and she really, really loved them. And she was like, hey, can you use my space for an exhibition? Because I was not ready. So back then in December, so I decided to talk to her and postpone it until February. Thank God it was really amazing because a lot of people came out, show love, especially in a country that art is not much appreciated. But when I saw the outcome of it, I knew that yes, we still have hope for the art industry here in the Gambia. One of the challenges I faced, one was, to be honest, was like financial problems, because back then there was a lot of things going on and I didn't plan for it so much well, but I wanted it to happen. So a lot of things going on. I faced a lot of financial constraints in terms of like buying some of the materials, because I wanted to use quality woods and canvases in order to get this works done. You know, I don't just want people to come and see like works that, you know, the wood is not good and things like, although they are not seeing it, but it matters a lot, and that is why, and those things cost a lot. So I had to do other forms of works, like in terms of graphics and architectural designs, to gain money from it and then buy those materials. And especially the paints and the brushes, you know, there are things that are very difficult to get here, but I try to manage with the ones I have and come up with some wonderful paintings. And another challenge that I face is the aspect of people seeing art as something, like as nothing. So they come to you and be like, hey Zina, this is very nice. Can you draw this person for me? Okay, fine. So how much are you gonna pay? And they'll be like, I have to pay. I'm like, come on, this is my job, this is what I do. So, you know, people don't respect art in the society we live in, and because of that they see it as nothing. And you know, it's even funny when people see you as an artist and keep asking you, what are you doing for a living? Like, art is not something for a living. So sometimes it's funny, and that is why they have the mind to come and ask you for like free jobs. But that is one of the challenges. But as I keep doing these things, keep branding myself, they see the people I work for, they know that this is not something that I'm just doing for free. The effort, because to get the pencils, to get the paints and every other art materials, it's really not easy. So how can I do these things for free? You know, people have to understand that. And that is why, like, if it was so easy, I believe everyone else could have done it. If you have a talent, or if you know something, don't be ashamed or of coming out to show it. No matter, even if you're young, just put yourself in that position. The thing is, for example, when I started off, I started very badly with some of my drawings. I started with pencil drawing, and they were very bad. But the more I kept putting them on social media, I received comments from people. Some criticized me, and through those criticisms, I used it to improve myself, and I became good at doing like portraits. And then I started receiving calls for commission portraits. People come and then they want to do a portrait for their loved ones, and I feel so proud because I've already reached to a level where I can use my talent to be making a living and supporting myself and all other things that I want to do, as well as my younger ones. So it was really, really amazing. That is why people should not give up on their talent. I also did a portrait for one of the icons in Africa, like Taf, Mustafa Njai. I did a portrait for him, and that was the first time I had to present it to him on stage, and it was amazing. So because if I don't have this confidence to do these things, I would have never reached that level. But thank God, it was amazing, it was well received, and a lot of people started knowing me through that as well. So startups should never give up on what they are doing. They should always improve on it and see that whatever they're doing, it could have an impact in the society one way or the other. Like nothing is ever wasted, So startups should never give up. They then keep doing what they're doing. If possible, turn it into a business so that they can make a living for themselves and their loved ones.
Although facing daily struggles, Zina is a young entrepreneur, determined to succeed, and is giving his utmost to make that dream a reality. We at Musso Media House will continue to share stories like this and many others around Africa and in diaspora to encourage our young entrepreneurs and business startups. Join us on our social media platforms as we continue this conversation and many more. I'm your host, Mama Rinjai.